So you're probably wondering, why is a rabbi, no less in Sfat, which is kind of the spiritual capital of the world, speaking about Kamala Harris? Now, it's very important to understand this lady is kind of a student of mine, very bright woman. She's a psychiatrist and internist. And so she was telling me about different people who she would vote for, like none of them are really on the ballot. There were kind of these great people. And I said to her, everything you're saying is true except for one thing. The President of the United States is actually the general of the U.S. Army. He decides whether you're going to live or die. Kamala Harris, we found this with Obama, we found this with Clinton, and Kamala Harris will do the same thing, perhaps even worse, which is it's a mentality of appeasement. Churchill, who was the general of his army, he was a prime minister of England, warned for years that people need to get rid of Hitler. But everybody ignored him. The prime minister at that time was Chamberlain, and Chamberlain was like, whatever, we made peace with him. And meanwhile, what happened? Rockets rained down. The essence of the delusion of the Democratic Party is that evil isn't real, unless, of course, you're a conservative. Somehow then you can be evil. But if you're, I don't know, a black radical, if you're Arab, Muslim terrorist, somehow that's okay. All of that is okay. Meanwhile, these are people that not only use violence, they educate their children into violence, and they're saying that they're going to use violence against you. When we look at Iran, openly believes and calls in every single mosque, millions of people every single Friday, death to America. And they're not just saying that, they're building the nuclear weapons to kill you. And so, as a Jew, we have 4,000 years of history of basically, when they asked Freud for what's the psychological reason for anti-Semitism, he said miserable bastards. And I used to think that was a joke, but then I realized it's true. Einstein, he kind of invented the nuclear weapons, and he regretted it. He said, better I should have become a watchmaker, because it's not the bomb that goes off, it's the heart. It's the miserable bastards. Basically, when a person is miserable, they become a bastard. It's human nature. We all have it. Maybe it's the time of the month. Maybe it's your bank account's low. Who knows what it is? But the same person that yesterday could be very, very nice, myself included, can be very mean the next day. Why? Because when we're miserable, we become jealous. And jealousy is the desire to eliminate the person you are jealous of. Just like if a person hates someone or you have a mosquito buzzing, you just want to kill that mosquito. Same thing is with human beings. When you have somebody that you love, you want to do everything for them. In Hebrew, the word ahava has in it the word hav, to give. But when you have somebody you hate, it has the word sino, and kina has in the word no, which is to annihilate. And that's just human nature. So we're dealing with literally hundreds of millions of people. We're not even talking about other groups that would love to dominate you just because they think that they're better in, like Russia or things like that. We're talking about people that have a religion. The largest amount of people ever murdered by a group is Islam. Islam has murdered over 700 million people. They have in their religion the notion that if you are not Islamic, it's not like Christianity, and this is the mistake that people make. They compare Islam to Christianity and Judaism, other religions. These religions are ideas. So you can become a Christian, you become a Jew, a Buddhist, whatever it is. It's an idea. You adopt the idea. You basically become it. However, with Islam started after Christianity and Judaism. And basically, Muhammad thought he was a prophet. And therefore, he just wanted everyone to continue. He wanted the Jews and Christians to follow him, but they didn't accept him. So he had a problem. So what is his solution? His solution is basically to kill them. It says over 30 times. This is the book that they consider the word of God 30 times. And you can fact check this in the Quran. Kill the Jew. Just go Google. Go to any Quran and put in Jew. Put in Christian. See what happens. They believe this is the charter of Hamas, that the last thing Muhammad said, there will be a stone, there will be a Jew behind it, kill him. And what idiots, what liberal Jewish people that are naive and they're so stupid don't realize, in fact, all liberals don't realize this because they don't want to see evil unless to the conservatives. What they don't realize is who created the modern anti-Semitism, who created Hamas, who created the problem of Iran. The Democratic Party. The Democratic Party cares about one thing, and that's called getting elected. They have no values. The Republican Party is definitely not, the word of God, but at least they're based on values. They were the values that got rid of slavery. The Democratic Party wanted slavery. They just want whatever is going to get them elected, and that's going to get you killed because Iran has completely infiltrated the Democratic Party. And I'm not saying that Trump will solve your problems. I'm not sure he will. But the point is that we are at war. an American general said, war is something that finds you. You don't have to hate someone to be at war. They have to hate you. And Islam hates you. They call the Americans, and whether you like it or not, you're an American, whether you're a Jew, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a black, they call you the great Satan. Like you would imagine the worst infestation of rats in the world. They think of you worse than that. And it doesn't matter if the Germans were German and they liked Germans. The Nazis were a party that believed that the Jews were evil and they had to be eliminated, and they did it. And Iran is saying that they're going to do it. And they're doing it. They have terrorists all over the world. They've already killed Americans. Right now we have American hostages, people that have been killed. And it's coming for you unless you vote for Trump. Now, Trump may not be the nicest guy in the world. He may not be the smartest guy. He may not be anything. But it doesn't freaking matter, because if you're betting on a horse, it doesn't matter if he's the nicest. Is he the fastest? Is he going to win the race? And Trump is not necessarily the solution. Trump, Netanyahu, all these people, they haven't taken out Iran's nuclear program. I'm not going to say why, but they haven't done it. But the thing is, the Democratic Party is enabling it. They're giving them billions of dollars. They're giving the terrorists money. So it literally is not a question of who looks better, who sounds better, who's nicer, who smells better. It's a question of life and death. That's what it's a question of. I got interviewed by the BBC before Netanyahu, and everybody was anti-Netanyahu. This is not a question of whether I like Netanyahu. It's a question of whether I'm going to live or die. The Hamas terrorists, they would kill all of the Jews. And any Jew who doesn't vote, I don't want to go too much, but I spoke to a mother of a hostage today, and I was like, I think you need to put out a video for Trump. She says, listen, my kid is a hostage in Gaza. I can't anger those people, Hamas. But the point is, do you not care that there are Jewish people, Jewish women probably getting raped as we speak? Does this not bother you? Don't you realize that they would want to do that to you in America? The same Hezbollah that made tunnels here to the north, they've been in Mexico making tunnels. Don't you get it? That you're just as much a Jew? That the Germans and the secular Jews, they were taken by the Germans, by the Nazis, and they were gassed, they were murdered. It didn't matter because to them you're a Jew. And let me explain finally, what is the psychological reason behind this? I said it, it's misery and it's jealousy. But why to the Jew? In fact, they asked the Japanese, if you had to hate anyone, who would you hate? Guess what? The Jews. Why? The answer is very simple. Einstein said there are two things that make the Jew the Jew. Well, I shouldn't say that. Einstein's not the greatest knowledge in terms of mysticism, etc. It makes us Jewish as our soul. But one, he said there are two hallmarks of the Jew. There's a respect for education, and then there is the desire for social justice. The Jews have great hearts. That's what made Abraham a good heart. Everybody wants to feel loved, but many people feel hated, and therefore their hearts are sour. It's like many videos and movies where a guy goes bad, and therefore they want to kill you. They have jealousy and they want to kill you. I can't say this enough times. They want to kill you. And if you allow Kamala Harris in, anti-Semitism is going to grow, hostages are going to die, it's going to get bad. Every single time the Democratic Party is in, more people die because they appease evil, and evil is like cancer. It only grows. Anytime Hitler is voting for the president of the United States, when Iran wants Kamala Harris, you got to be crazy to vote for her. So even if you don't vote for Trump, for crying out loud, you're going to support a person like Obama that enabled the destruction of Iraq, the destruction of Egypt, the destruction of Yemen, the destruction of Libya, the construction of Iran. Do you have no brains in this thing called a brain? But the truth is, you're not going to listen to me because you're so in an illusion. You're so much in this fantasy, and you don't want to give up your fantasy. And all I can say to you is, may God protect us, because it's the idiots. There were Jewish people that even voted for Hitler. It's the idiots like you that vote for this moron. It took me 5 minutes to see that Obama was a con man because Oprah had him on her show. She introduced him. Thank you very much for introducing what became a mass murderer. What ended up happening? He lied. And so I saw the guy's a pathological liar. Immediately, the first thing Kamala Harris did in the thing was Trump, is she accused him of the China virus. She accused him of an epidemic. So this is a pathological lie. You see, she's contradicting her. She's lying. So if a person's lying, then everything they're saying is false. But what is true? What is true is that they support terrorism. They support all the evil in the world. That's the truth. And she did it as a prosecutor. And so all I can say is maybe you deserve the evil that will come to you if you don't listen to somebody with a little bit of experience. And this is for Jews and this is for Gentiles. Even if you can't bring yourself to vote for Trump, don't vote for the person that's going to empower evil. Look at what's happened under Obama, how much crime has happened. The Democratic Party has become a party of denial of reality. Anybody that's a rapist, that's a thief, that's okay. But anybody that stands for actual values such as, law and order, this is a conservative nut. So a person has to really get their head straight and realize that your life is hanging in the balance on this vote. And may God just protect us from idiocy, because all of history shows that bad times make strong people make good times make weak people like you, and weak people make bad times. It's a cycle, and that's the cycle we're about. Trump has said this. If he's not elected, America's going to go down the tube. And it's true. And I love America. I'm an American, but I'm safe. I'm in Israel. I'm fine. But your life is in danger. It's in serious danger. And so I really hope you take this very serious, because there isn't another chance. Once Iran gets nuclear weapons, they're blackmailing people without nuclear weapons. It's just a matter of time. And so let us hope and pray. And ultimately, I don't even think the Republican Party is going to be the solution. I think that they also get blackmailed. Only God is going to solve this. So if that's the case, let us just turn to God, each one of us individually, because the future of the world, of life itself, is at stake. And as J.R. Tolkien said, that's worth protecting.